Everyone, in this part we will discuss about the change of state, and before coming to the topic, let me remind you that you people have gone through this in class 9, right, in chapter 1, matter in our surrounding. So the same thing we will discuss here also, but it will go through a quite detail, right. So in our daily life we come across many changes of matter and mostly what change of states, and the most familiar things of which we come across the state of change is what? Ice, water, water vapor. So simply when the ice is inside the refrigerator, it is in solid. When it is exposed to the atmosphere, it start melting because it gains enough energy to melt. Then when we heat the water, liquid water, it starts boiling and it get converted to water vapor. So this process are what? Melting or boiling. So let's have a look what they are. Change from the state of solid to the liquid state is called melting, right. So melting is what? From solid to liquid state is melting, and liquid to solid is freezing. So remember, melting and freezing are opposite terms. Then change from the liquid state to the gaseous state is called vaporization. The reverse is, or change from the gaseous state to the liquid state is known as condensation. The vaporization and condensation are opposite process. Now there are two more process, right. They are sublimation or deposition. So sublimation is what? In sublimation, the substance changes its state directly from the solid to the gaseous state without entering to the intermediate liquid state. Means in sublimation what happens, all the substance or whatever the substance undergoes sublimation, it get converted to what? Gas directly from the solid state. And the changing of snow into water vapor is an example, right. When we open the refrigerator, you can see now. So the process is known as sublimation, and the substance that undergoes sublimation are known as sublime, and the examples are dry ice. I hope you people remember what dry ice is. What dry ice is? Solid carbon dioxide, camphor and naphthalene ball. All these things are sublime, and this undergoes sublimation. Another compound, you know, do you remember? It is what? Ammonium chloride is also a sublime. Next method is, next process is deposition. So it is the process opposite to sublimation. Okay, so in sublimation what happens? Solid to gas. In deposition, gas to solid. In this, a substance changes directly from the gaseous state to the solid state. So this is what? Deposition. Now let's have a look at the fact. When we open the refrigerator, we see freezing fog. This is nothing but the condensed water. So how the water is condensed? So when we open the door of the refrigerator, the temperature comes down. What? The temperature of the air close to the refrigerator comes down, and this what? Lowering down of the temperature causes the vapor into tiny water droplets, and this produces freezing fog, right. Next, temperature affecting the change of state. So here is a activity. So it is very quite simple. Look in a beaker or in a container, take some ice and heat it. When the temperature will what here the temperature will show 0 degree centigrade, it will start melting. After the melting completes, heat the liquid water further, it will start boiling at 100 degree centigrade, right. So I hope you people can clearly understand the process, right. So what happens? In the beginning, the temperature of the ice is below 0 degree centigrade. When the ice begins melting, temperature is recorded to be 0 degree, and that's why the melting point of ice is known is what? 0 degree centigrade. Conclusion: it can be concluded that an increase in temperature changes a substance from solid to liquid, and further heating changes the liquid to vapor. Okay, if we will heat a solid, it will get converted to liquid. If it will further heat the liquid, it will get converted to vapors. Now, temperature affecting the change of state, irrespective of its state, consists of particle. Means whatever the state of the matter, it may be solid, liquid or gas, all the state of matter consist of particle. So when we are heating to any matter, what exactly happens? Previously we discussed, right, that on heating solid changes to liquid, liquid changes to gas, but exactly how do they changes? How do the state changes? The state changes because of two factors. Clear? And what the two factors are? The two factors are kinetic energy of the particle and the force of attraction between the particles, right. So in solid, liquid or gas, there is not a single particle, right, there are many particles are present in any solid or liquid or gas. So when these particles get separated, get far away from each other, or they get closer to each other, the state changes. How it happens? So before that, let us have a look at what kinetic energy is. So kinetic energy of a particle is the energy possessed by it because of its motion. So the particles of matter are in constant motion. So if they are in constant motion, they have kinetic energy. Now particle force of attraction. Every particle of matter attracts the particles near it. Okay, in suppose solid, what, liquid or gas. In solid the particles are very close to each other, in liquid they are quite far away from each other, in gas they are too far away from each other, right. So in case of solid, the particle force of attraction is maximum, and in gas it is minimum. So by terms of particle force of attraction, it is maximum in solid, then liquid, then gas. Clear? Now in terms of kinetic energy, look, if the particle of the solid are very tightly packed, then definitely they cannot move so easily, but in case of gas they are very loose. So by means of kinetic energy of particles, so kinetic energy of gaseous particle is the maximum or more than liquid particle than solid. In case of solid, the kinetic energy of the particle is minimum. Clear? So here is a explanation, you can go through it. Now look, when we are heating a solid, what happens? Here the particles are very close than this, in liquid they are closer than this. So when we are heating the solid, the particles what get separated from each other, they move away from each other, and in that way they converted to liquid, right. And the temperature at which a solid starts melting is known as melting point, and melting point and freezing point both are same for a particular solid liquid pair. Like the melting point of ice is 0 degree centigrade. The freezing point of water is 0 degree centigrade. Then the boiling point of water is 100 degree centigrade, and the condensation point of water vapor is 100 degree centigrade, right? Now latent heat, this one also we have gone through in class 9, but let's have a look here also. So when we are heating ice, right, what will happen? It get converted to water, but the temperature remain constant. Suppose here we have some amount of, let this amount of ice we have, and we are heating this ice, it will get converted to liquid or water. So let here the temperature of the ice was 0 degree centigrade, this water has also 0 degree centigrade. So what happened to the heat that we supplied to the ice, right? So here the points, the most important point comes, what happens to the heat energy? So look, in case of solid, in case of ice, the particles are very close to each other, right? In liquid they are quite far away from each other. So this energy in the form of heat which we are applying is used to separate the particles from each other. It helps, or it is utilized to increase the space between the particle, right? And this heat energy is hidden within the substance itself, and that's why this heat is known as latent heat. Clear? So this, the supplied heat is used for changing water from its solid state to its liquid state. The heat energy absorbed by the ice without showing any rise in temperature. So what is happening to the heat energy? It is being hidden within the ice or water, right? And it is utilized to bring the particles far away, farther. Okay, so this is what latent heat. Again, latent heat may be of two types. So when solid is converted to liquid, the latent heat is known as latent heat of fusion. As you know, melting is also known as fusion. And when liquid is again heated, it gets converted to gas, and this here the amount of latent heat is known as latent heat of vaporization. Clear everyone? So the amount of heat required to convert 1 kg of solid into its liquid state without any change in its temperature is known as latent heat of fusion. So the latent heat of ice is, latent heat of fusion of ice is 334 kilojoule per kg. Means to melt 1 kg of ice we need the heat of 334 kilojoule. Clear? So conversely, if there is 1 kg of liquid, we can make it ice by removing that 334 kilojoule of heat, right? Means by giving energy it can be converted to solid to gas, or by removing energy it will be converted from liquid to solid. Then come to latent heat of vaporization. So the same thing, the latent heat of vaporization is the amount of heat required to convert 1 kg of liquid into its vapor state without any change in temperature. So here also the same thing, the definition is almost same, only difference is what? From liquid to vapor is latent heat of vaporization, from solid to liquid latent heat of fusion. So the latent heat of fusion or latent heat of vaporization of 1 kg of water is how much? 2260 kilojoule. Have a look here. Clear everyone? Next, 1 kg of water at 100 degree centigrade into 1 kg of vapor at 100 degree centigrade, right? So temperature will remain same. Now come to the heating curve. Here you can understand very clearly. So just listen carefully, this one, amount of heat absorbed along the x-axis because it is independent, temperature along the y-axis. Now let the ice has temperature how much? Minus 50 degrees centigrade, right here. So if we will, the water or the ice will absorb heat, it will absorb the heat continuously, right? So and in this stage the temperature of the ice will increase, means until how? Until it reaches the melting point, right? Until it reaches the melting point, and just after reaching the melting point the temperature will remain fixed. How long it will remain fixed? Until all the ice is melted, right? Until all the ice is melted, the temperature of the ice will remain the same. Then after all the ice is melted, it will absorb the heat. Look, ice or the substance is absorbing heat continuously, but the temperature do not rise continuously. So after all the ice is melted, it will again show a rise in its temperature up to 100 degrees centigrade, and just after reaching 100 degrees centigrade the liquid will start what? Vaporizing, and it will get converted to vapors, and here also the temperature will remain at 100 degrees centigrade until all the liquid water get converted to vapor. So this is the heat curve of water. I hope you people got the clear idea from it.